Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Let's go start now. Iga Swiatek's narrow escape against Alexandra Eala at Madrid Open raises doubts among fans. Is the clay queen losing her grip? It was supposed to be a routine early round win, a stepping stone on Iga Swiatek's familiar clay court campaign, the surface she has long ruled with an iron grip. The world no. Two walked into the second round of the 2025 Madrid Open with the confidence of a reigning empress. But on a bright afternoon under the Spanish sun, Swiatek found herself not dancing across the clay, but clawing through it, battling not just the heat or the conditions, but a 19-year-old rising star who refused to bow. The scoreboard read 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. Swiatek won. Technically. But Alexandra Eala, ranked no. 72, a teenager from the Philippines with fire in her eyes and nothing to lose, walked away as more than just a runner-up. She left the stadium with something even the victor didn't have: momentum. And suddenly, questions are being whispered louder than ever. Cracks in the clay. For over 3 years, Swiatek has been nearly untouchable on clay. Her movement, her topspin, her ruthless efficiency from the baseline. It all combined into a dominance reminiscent of legends. Roland Garros, practically her backyard. Monte Carlo and Stuttgart, playgrounds of destruction. But Madrid is different. The higher altitude makes balls fly faster. Topspin kicks differently, and in the face of a young challenger who wasn't afraid to attack her forehand, change pace, and fight for every inch, Swiatek looked human. She looked rattled out there, said a former WTA analyst on air. Not because she's out of form, but because she's being figured out. And that's the unsettling part for Swiatek fans. The growing sense that the rest of the field is catching up. Eala's breakout, or Swiatek's breakdown. Make no mistake, Eala was brilliant. Her backhand down the line stunned the crowd repeatedly. Her court coverage matched Swiatek step for step. At 5-5 in the final set, she even held a break point that, had it landed, might have rewritten the outcome and the headlines. Iga didn't win that match, one fan wrote on X. She survived it. Social media erupted in post-match discourse. Was Eala the real story, or was Swiatek showing signs of wear? The aura is fading, another user tweeted. Players aren't afraid of Iga anymore. That's dangerous. Indeed, the once imposing sense of inevitability that surrounded Swiatek in clay matches has taken a few dings this season. A loss in Stuttgart, a shaky opening match in Madrid. And now, this narrow escape against a teenager who hadn't yet seen the second week of a slam. Fans, loyal but anxious, are wondering, is this a blip or the beginning of something bigger? Swiatek responds, sort of. In her post-match presser, Swiatek did what she always does, remain calm, composed, and measured. Matches like this are good, she said, a slight smirk betraying the relief behind her words. They test you, and I needed that test. She complimented Eala generously, calling her brave, creative, and mentally strong, and acknowledged that her own rhythm had been off. Not my cleanest day, she admitted, but you find ways. Champions find ways. And she did, barely. A few well-timed first serves. A net chord that kissed the tape at just the right time. A break point saved with a bold second serve kicker. The little margins that separate history from heartbreak. A new challenger arises. If Swiatek's dominance is to be questioned, it's only because players like Eala are starting to ask tougher questions, and the tennis world is loving every minute of it. Eala's rise is no longer potential. It's a presence. Her composure, her fearless tactics, and her refusal to be overwhelmed by occasion mark her as more than a one-match wonder. This wasn't luck, said a former Grand Slam finalist. Eala had a plan, and she nearly executed it to perfection. And that's where Swiatek's narrow win becomes even more fascinating, not because she stumbled, but because the future looked her straight in the eye and said, I'm coming. From crowned queen to hunted target, dominance in tennis comes with a price. Once you rise to the top, the field studies you, attacks you, builds their game to beat yours. That's the fate of every no. Every serial champion. Swiatek is no exception. And now, her once untouchable empire is feeling more mortal. It's the Serena effect, a broadcaster muse. When you rule for too long, People don't just want to beat you. They train specifically to do it. Is Swiatek slowing down? Or is the field simply speeding up? The answer might be a little of both, and it makes the next few months, particularly Roland Garros, utterly unmissable. What comes next? For Madrid has already become her career's defining moment. So far, even in defeat, she's gained global respect, invaluable experience, and the confidence that comes from going toe-to-toe with the game's best. For Swiatek, the pressure mounts. The headlines will highlight survival instead of supremacy, and the locker room, it's buzzing now. She's still a favorite on clay, but the mystique is bruised. Not broken, but bruised. If Iga's going to lift the French Open again, a commentator concluded, she's going to have to evolve. Because the next generation, they're no longer waiting politely. They're knocking loudly. Final rally. The shift begins. Every era of dominance reaches a moment like this. A crack in the crown, a match that doesn't go according to plan. For Swiatek, Madrid might not be the beginning of the end, but it just might be the end of the beginning. And for Alexandra Eala, it's the beginning of everything. As the clay settles in Madrid, one thing is clear. The queen still wears the crown. But the challengers? They're no longer watching from the sidelines. They're ready to rule. Iga Swiatek's narrow escape against Alexandra Eala at Madrid Open raises doubts among fans. It was supposed to be a smooth ride through the early rounds of the 2025 Mutua Madrid Open. Iga Swiatek found herself navigating stormy waters. The world too narrowly survived a second-round scare against rising Filipina teenager Alexandra Eala, escaping with a hard-fought 6-4, 3-6, 7-5 win that left the tennis world buzzing. Not with celebration, but with concern. Swiatek may have won, but the way she had to claw her way to victory raised eyebrows across the globe. For the first time in recent memory, fans and pundits are asking a question that once seemed unthinkable. Is the clay court queen starting to crack? A win that felt like a warning. Eala, ranked 72, stepped onto the court as an underdog, but played like a seasoned warrior. She matched Swiatek's intensity from the start, absorbing pressure, redirecting pace, and fearlessly attacking the polished star's usually impenetrable defenses. By the second set, Eala had taken command, moving Swiatek around the court with precision and forcing uncharacteristic errors. At one point in the third set, she had Swiatek on the ropes, serving at 5-5, 30-30, just 2 points away from potentially breaking and serving for the match. Though Swiatek ultimately prevailed, her struggles didn't go unnoticed. That wasn't just a bad day. That was a serious challenge. One fan posted on X, formerly Twitter, "It's rare to see Iga look shaken on clay." But today, she did. From invincible to vulnerable, Swiatek's dominance on clay has been well established. With multiple French Open titles under her belt and a reputation for dismantling opponents in straight sets, she's been the gold standard on the surface. But Madrid, with its high altitude and fast bounce, has always been a different beast. And on this day, Eala tamed it better. It wasn't just the final score that set alarm bells ringing. It was the body language. At times, Swiatek looked rushed, rattled, and reactive, especially during key moments in the second and third sets. Her signature poise gave way to frustration, her depth disappeared, and for long stretches, she was simply outplayed. "We're seeing the field catch up," said a WTA commentator after the match. "Swiatek's still great, but she's no longer untouchable." Fans voiced concern. Social media lit up following the match, with many expressing concern over Swiatek's vulnerability, especially with the French Open just weeks away. If Eala, who's still finding her rhythm on clay, can push Iga to the brink, imagine what someone like Sabalenka or Rybakina might do in Paris. One user tweeted. Others took it a step further. "The aura of invincibility is fading," wrote another. "Swiatek needs to adjust fast, or the Roland Garros crown might slip." While the panic may be premature, there's no denying that Swiatek is being challenged more frequently, and by younger, hungrier opponents who aren't afraid of her leg.